Hey YouTube, this is going to be part 2 of the head gasket. I decided to wait because I had to charge the camera up. So as a finish off the head gasket part. So where I left off is I snugged all the head bolts down with the socket. I got them all nice and snug. I figured I'd finish off this instead of explaining it to you. So they're all wound in a little bit. They're all protruding through. I replaced the stud because the stud, in the last video I showed you how to replace a stud. You basically just wind the studs in. You don't have to torque the studs. I was wrong on the part. Just wind them in until they're tight. You don't need to put thread lock on them. And because some of them, if they have a shank, that's what I meant to tell you. If they have a shank on the end of it, let's see if I can find where the stud actually went. I think it went through the trailer. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about studs. This part right here where it threads into the block, right here, if it has a shank on it, you can torque it. If it doesn't have a shank on it, like these, you wind them in until they're all the way in. And then you give them a, basically a quarter turn. That's how you do these type of studs. I had to recheck my specifications on that. So basically you do that nut job I told you. Get it? Nut job. Where you double the nuts to wind them in, and you wind them all the way in until the seats and give them a little bit of like a quarter of a turn, and that's more than enough to tighten these down. And then you're going to torque these head bolts to 16 foot-pounds of torque. That's the proper way of doing those. So I wanted to go back over that with you. And then you're going to take your torque wrench and you're going to torque it to 16 foot-pounds, which I already went over these, but I wanted to do a video on it anyway. Just go over them to 16 foot-pounds. 16. 16. 16. Okay, so they're all set at 16. Then you take your high tension lead and you put that back on there. Okay, and it's just that simple to do a head gasket. 4 bolts. If you're some of the older ones have a shank, like a stop on the end. If it has that, torque it to 16 foot-pounds. If it's like this and does not, it's a straight one, wind it in until it can't go anymore, give it a quarter turn. Then you're all set with the studs, and then you can torque your head bolts to 16 foot-pounds. And that's how you do a head gasket on these KE100s, KMs, KDs, all those are the same. Okay, so where I left off, I got interrupted. So you hook your high tension lead up, and let's see how she goes. Oh, one of these pants is getting hot and muggy out here. Oh yeah, there she is. Go me. And that, my friends, is how she idles. Really low. I just shut it off with the switch up top on the handlebars. So, that's pretty much it on the head gasket. And I wanted to show you guys a little something else too. Mirrors. We're going to talk about mirrors for a quick second. These bikes are set up so you can put 2 of them on there, but I want to show you. A lot of people don't know about this, so I figured I'd show it to you. They think automatically that their bike can only take 1 mirror, and in fact they can take 2 mirrors. But the older ones made it obvious, but the newer ones don't. I'll show you. On your handlebars, you have a plug on the opposite side. On the older stuff, on the older bikes, they were white. That pops out. On the newer bikes, they're black. These plugs are here, unscrew, and that's threaded, so you can put your other second mirror on there, which that other mirror is actually going to make its way. I think what I'm going to do is switch the tires over, because those tires are better than mine. And the tires are better than on mine, and I like the second mirror, just because I ride this on the road a lot more than I do the other. You know, I'm going to be on the other one. So the seat's going to be switched out to the gray one. I think that's going to look really sharp on there. The blue is nice, but it's got everything's faded on it, so you know, the strap. But yeah, I mean, this thing goes awesome with that high compression head. If you can grab yourself one of those, do it. I got a couple projects. I'm going to do the 12-volt conversion. I'll be working on that this week, and to get you guys that information to get that 12-volt conversion done. And I have a request on brakes, how to do brakes on the dirt bikes, and what to look for on that. So look for that video as well. So we're going to attack brakes. We did forks, we did compression, we did carburation, we did ignition, and so we got brakes left, conversion, and we're going to do, this is a 99cc, and I happen to have another jug, another cylinder on another motor that I'm going to, what do you call it there, take off. So I think I'm going to have that bored out 20 over and put a 20 over piston in it and make this thing a true 100. Not a 99cc, but a true 100. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Jim Driscoll. He's the machinist that I use down in Haverhill, Mass. And there'll be a video on that. And then basically just a piston kit and gasket. So I'm going to be ordering that stuff up and getting that stuff coming. So we can do that video and make this thing an actual 100, because this thing is, you know, I already put the high compression head on. I think it would be a sin not to put another jug, and I'll keep this piston and you know, piston and cylinder kit in case I ever want to switch it back, but at least it'll be a true 100. So that's my plans for this bike right here. Seat, mirror, 100, board cylinder. And I'm not going to port it because on these bikes right here, the jug doesn't have the intake on the back. So basically your transfer tubes come up there and they're as big as you're going to get them. You're not getting them any bigger than they are, but you can polish them. So what's the difference between porting and polishing? Porting makes it bigger, makes your holes bigger, okay? And allows it to suck in more air and exhaust more exhaust, okay? Polishing makes it smooth so that the airflow goes like faster through it. It travels faster. So you can get more power just by polishing. Keep that in mind. Just by polishing, you can get more power. So we're going to do that. We're going to torque this bike up a little bit and see if we can get a little bit more power out of it. Horsepower and torque. And I'm not looking to have, this thing is not going to ever beat a 125, but it can always come close. So we got that going on, and we're going to do some other modifications. We're going to make a rack for the back of the bike, so I can, type of stuff that I do. They don't make racks for these bikes. So I'm going to show you a rack off an older KE100 that's close but no cigar, and I'm going to show you how to make that work. So we're going to be doing that. That video is coming up. This one right here, the part is in the mail. It should be in today. This girl right here is getting a, this is a 1979 Kawasaki KM100, points ignition, and she's getting the electronic conversion. So we're going to be doing that to a KM100, and the parts ordered for the KM are simply that of a KE. So that's another fun video. We're going to perform that one right there, and we're not going to do anything with the cylinder head. I might actually put a KE head on that. If it's, I got to check the CCs and the volume inside that head and find out what the head actually is. If that head is a lower compression, we're going to use than the KE. We're going to take the KE head from this bike that not this one that's on here now, but the one that came off, and put it on that bike right there and get a little bit more oomph out of it. So be standby for that video. So we're going to be making some videos on these bikes. These things seem to be people liking them, and they have them, and there's not much out there for them. So I'm going to stick with these until I'm done this series of bikes. We're going to do, like I said, brakes, tire switchover, show you guys how to do all that, what to look for, how to check your brakes, and how to adjust. And also too, we're going to do one on batteries, and how to do a battery for the 6-volt, because a lot of people don't know how to do 6-volt. And if you have, like me, I have more than one, I'm going to show you how to charge 2 6-volt batteries at the same exact time with one charger. So anyway, that's pretty much it for me for right now. I'm going to get back on there. I'm going to switch out the seats, but you know how to switch out a seat, just a couple of pins. And I'll probably do an update video on the bike later on. But off this bike right here, I'm going to switch out a few things on it that I like, and change out some things I don't like. So that's pretty much it. This bike is complete and running. It sounds great. Everything works on. I got to fix that light, and I'm gonna show you how to rebuild the light on another video, but that'll be later on. So as always, thank you for watching. This concludes the head gasket. This is part 2 of the KE100 head gasket. Doing this head gasket is the same on all the KEs, all the KMs, all the KDs. So remember, if the stud has no bank on it, it'll stick off, it'll protrude a little bit, and then those are the ones that have to be torqued. This one does not have that, so it screws right into the block until it's seated. Give it a quarter turn and you're good to go. You don't need Loctite, you don't need anything on it, you don't need thread lock or anything like that. Just all the way in, quarter turn. Okay, then your head bolt is going to be at 16 foot-pounds. I like these better than the click style ratchets, because torque wrenches, because for some reason the click style, if they don't click at the right thing, you over torque it, you ruin it. It's a bad design. Well, it's a great design, but bad design for these. So that's the torque wrench right there you should be using on these bikes, because it's more feel than it is mechanical. So this bike had the factory tool kits. You saw all the parts and pieces. I gotta pull the battery out. The battery is dead, and that'll be another video on how to fix a dead battery. I have a couple of tips and tricks I use on that, so that'll help you out. These batteries are only like 20 bucks, so they're cheap, and they don't have big cranking. They have no cranking amps. So, and that is pretty much it. So if you have any questions, please comment, and keep those comments coming, keep those questions coming. We're going to do brakes. I got to pull these tires off. I got to switch them out and inspect them. I might just keep them on there. I might just do a video on specifically on brakes. So we'll do back and front brakes. They're the same, but there's a couple of things. There's a couple of difference. You know, I'll show you what this little window is right here. How to check for your brakes. You know, and did one on clutches. So, and I'll do one on how to clean your exhaust. It's very important to clean these things. Keep those up to par, because a lot of people don't clean them, and the tip, and then they gum up, and then they lose power. So, well, anyway, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.